Yo, what is good? What is good? This is your boy Dizzy D Spill here on The Notion. This is a special episode. Well, it's just me. Sometimes I have things on my mind that I want to share with people. That's going to be unfiltered. It may be unpopular opinions. You're going to get so many different elements on The Notion. So this is first of many. You have the regular Notion episodes with my brothers Jelani and Al Poe. And then you have Boss Talk with me and Jelani. And now you have the thoughts of Dizzy. And I can't lie, I was compelled to do this episode specifically. I'll get to the title in a minute, because there's been some conversations that's been on my mind. You know, conversations I may have with my wife, conversations I have with friends, a lot of conversations on Clubhouse as well, on social media, memes. All this information has been brought to me, so I felt like this would be a good time to address something from my perspective, my opinion. Call it humble, call it harsh, but it's definitely from my viewpoint and my personal feelings. So, without further ado, I'm gonna get right into it. So, black men are the villain. Yes, people, I said it. Black men are definitely the villain. Apparently, based off of information that I have came across, but majority information that I have heard is that we are the villain. Apparently, we are the biggest contributors of colorism. We are broke. We are too soft, stupid, aggressive, cheaters, hate on black women on the down low, lazy, and basically start everything bad in society, or the forefathers of everything terrible in society. Now, me being a black man, being raised by two great parents, and then eventually raised by a single black mom, my mother has given me the blessing of understanding my people at a very young age. You know, my mom is the type of person, and back in the day, she was the type of person, you know, she made me sit my black ass down, and she did the same thing with my two older brothers. We all had to watch Glory. That was real homework from my mother. Yes, we all watched Glory because, you know, it's part of our black history, you know, things that happened to us, you know, years ago. I remember one time my mother took me to the Magic Johnson Theater in LA as a kid, and we went to go see a movie called Once Upon a Time When We Were Colored. And my mom loved the movie so much that she went all over the town, in my hometown where I was born at, and she made all this rave about it. And she ended up getting it played at, I believe, the Fox Theater in Bakersfield. And the movie, I think it was written and produced by Tim Reed. That's the father from Sister. And, you know, I was real proud of my mom. You know, she was in the newspaper. My mom was always in the newspaper. If it wasn't my brothers for track, because they were track phenoms at the time, it was my mom, you know, because she was always doing something. She was always involved with something in the community. And so that's where I got a lot of teachings from at the beginning stages of my life. But never ever did my mom tell me you know, how terrible black men were and what we're responsible for. I don't know exactly how this started or where it came from, but in my black history lessons from my mother, and in many black history lessons that I've got from very important African Americans in my life, we as black men were never vilified. And I can't help but wonder, I really don't even really give a shit about where it came from as far as in us being these villains and these monsters. What I do care about is a couple things that I want to address. And what I care about also is definitely some solutions, not for y'all, you know, that feel this way about us, but for my brothers. And so one of the things that I wanted to basically address is colorism. right now, in 2021, and it's been a conversation in 2020, and I guess some years before that, there are a lot of people, specifically black women, mad as hell at us, as far as colorism. I've heard everything in the book about colorism and us being the reason or the creators of it, as far as in not wanting black women, not respecting black women, not loving black women, not protecting black women. And I can't really argue with people's truth. You know, everybody has a truth. That's a very popular movement right now. I'm living in my truth, and truth, and you know, I guess I can respect that, but I'm going to tell you the truth. Stop fucking generalizing. That's where I want to start out with. When you speak your truth, do not generalize us. And the reason why I'm telling and not asking is because, yes, we're not all like that. And I've also heard that rebuttal too. Well, I understand you're not all like that. Well, if you understand, don't generalize. It's not helping anything. It's not uplifting anything. It's not building anything up. And it's damn sure not a solution. See, the problem what I have with things like this is there's never a solution. It's an argument. It's a meme. It's a rant. It's an attack. It's not solution based. We have a lot of people talking a lot of different pieces and parts and elements of shit, but there's no solution. So then one must ask, what are your intentions? Now, does colorism exist? Absolutely. But what do you believe? You know what I'm saying? What research are you really doing? Well, I guess I know what you believe, but what research are you really doing? I'm married. For those that have been listening to the show, you probably already know that. My wife is African American. She's black. Okay. Majority of my friends are black. And I have a lot of friends that are married to black women. I have a lot of friends that are not married to black women. I have friends that have full black children. I have friends that have biracial children. But I never felt like my friends or even family members as well. You know, I have family members that are also biracial, you know, and I love them no different. And the thing about it is this narrative about us where I'm getting to the point where I'm fucking tired of it, man. Shut the fuck up, man. We're not the bad guys. You know, if you want to feel like, you know, we're the villain, tune us out. You know what I'm saying? Then don't respond to us at all. But we're not the fucking villain. We're not. I've listened to so many different conversations with people in different communities, and I've heard things about black men not supporting different movements. I've heard the expression or the statement that, you know, it's not black men out there out there starting protests and doing anything until black women start it or until someone else starts it. And in case you guys forgot, we're the reason for the protests, because we're out here getting fucking shot and killed and everything else. For those that don't know, Deshaun Watson is going through a case right now, and it doesn't look too good for him. That's a black man who, at the time before the case, really didn't have any known history on the allegations that he's being charged with, and now his career is destroyed. Even if he's proven innocent for these assault charges, I don't want to say destroyed, but it, you know, you guys know what I mean. It's tarnished. And the thing that's interesting to me is I always hear things about black men aren't doing this and black men aren't shit, but it didn't come from the people that taught me about black history. So my question is, are you guys rewriting or adding a chapter to Black history? Because, is this really what you want to add to the history books for us? Is this really what you want to add to the culture? I've heard Black women say things like, Black men have done this to me and done that to me and this, that, and the other, and I still love them. It's just, and we need to get out here and we need to do our, and it's just like, wow. Like, I know that these things that come up about us isn't about me. But when I see my brothers, when I see Jelani, when I see Poe, when I see Dev, when I see the people on my shows and the people that I'm affiliated with, I see myself. That's who I see. Like attracts like. Iron sharpens iron. You see what I'm saying? So I don't see other people. I don't see other ethnics and cultures. When I look at them, I see myself. Same hair texture. That darker skin. Melanin. That's what I see. So when I hear these attacks on Black men, it gets frustrating. And the crazy thing about it is, I wonder how many of these women have sons. Because when you put that out there in the universe, and you put that out there in the world, and once you put something on the internet, it's never really gone, no matter how many times you try to delete it. What is your son supposed to think? When I was growing up as a kid, I would hear that all men are dogs. But the crazy thing about it is, my older brothers or uncles and big cousins and even friends, when we were just little kids, I'm the man. So when you take man and you take all men are dogs, that was a perception that didn't really sit well with me as a kid. I'm not a dog. I didn't do nothing to nobody. So you really got to ask yourselves, if Black men are this bad, and you end up having a Black son or already have a Black son, remember what you're putting out there in the universe. Remember what you're saying. You can say all day long that you're going to raise your son different. Well, it's going to be really fucking hard to raise your son or sons differently if you're speaking the opposite energy into the universe. Think about that. And the same goes with men that have daughters. But right now, we're not talking about that. We're talking about Black men and how we're the problem. I've heard for years how broke we are. Broke. I mean, think it was in 97, 98. I was sixth grade, and I remember hearing Scrubs. I remember hearing Can't Pay My Bills or Bills by Destiny's Child. I remember hearing all of these things about men that were sung from Black women. Okay. And the crazy thing about it is, here we are again. We're the bad guy. We don't have enough fucking money. I remember being in school and, even all the way up until high school, depending on what you wear, you could get ostracized for it. And the funny thing is I remember back in high school, I'm an OG for the listeners. I graduated in 2005. In 2005 and in 2004, if you was caught wearing like FUBU, oh man, you get ostracized. I remember I didn't really own J's like that. I've had some Jordans, but they weren't the retro numbers. You know what I'm saying? I didn't buy my first pair of retro number J's until 2006. I still got them in the closet. They pretty much in great condition, but they staying on ice. But back to the topic. But I remember you would get ostracized for that. That's what our culture does. Other cultures, they're not really giving a fuck about what you wear, but that's what we do to each other. It ain't just one side, Black men, Black women, but let's just stay on topic with us being the villain. I remember that being the thing. And then it's funny, man, you fast forward to 2020 from 2004, 2005, right? You fast forward to 2020, 2021. What is everybody preaching? Support Black businesses. Well, FUBU was a Black business. But we'll get a pass on that, whatever the case it is. We'll pick and choose, when we want to care about something and when we want to ostracize. But, being broke is a thing. And that's why FUBU was frowned upon, because, it wasn't hot no more. It wasn't a rare thing, to have it. It was no longer really that expensive. It was actually pretty affordable, depending on what you bought. So that was a sign of broke, if it wasn't in. If something's not in, it's kind of pretty much broke. And then, you look at the career paths, and the stereotypes. You know what I'm saying? If you work fast food, or if you work in a warehouse, or, unless you work in something that's giving you to the average is a lot of money. Like we all know, pretty much people in construction make a pretty decent living. But depending on what you did, you know what I'm saying? It was frowned upon. You know what I'm saying? But then something interesting happened, right? You had the dope boy, trap, gangsta, bad boy eras. For those who are my age, you know what I'm talking about. Everybody wanted to be a rapper, a trap star, a rap star, whatever you want to call it, right? A gangsta. I remember that era came right around that time or a little bit after that, when a lot of these rappers were claiming sets, Blood and Crip, and that shit was sexy, right? But then when you find out what type of men they were, now they're the bad guy, they're the villain. What the fuck? Make up your mind. The nerd or the dork or the AKA broke nigga that's working a regular 9-to-5 or working a fast food joint that ain't never been locked up, that ain't never done anything to nobody, that ain't never put his hands on a woman, is not really the type that's a two-timing, cheater or whatever the case was. He's not good enough. The D-boys is, or what you guys like to refer to them as fuck boys were in. But once you realize that, oh shit, the fuck boys really don't give a fuck, oh, now it's a problem. Come on, man. Now we playing offense and defense, right? So let's kill that noise. We are not the villain. If you listen to past episodes on the podcast, you have things like accountability, We have all kinds of conversations. Take your pick. You might want to look within. Now, I understand the dating pool can be difficult. And a lot of times the reason why the dating pool is difficult, it could have something to do with age. It could have something to do with tax bracket. It could have something to do, what's another one? You have age, you have tax bracket. Oh, the biggest one is where you are, what community you're in, what area you're in. And depending on what area you are in, that can be, that could play a big role in why your experiences are going the way that it's going, whether it's good or bad. But you got to consider all of those elements before, making that final statement or in generalizing. Okay. Too soft, man. We are not the villain. It kind of goes back to the whole, who you prefer to date, the gangster, the tough guy, or the homie that goes to work every day. I've heard that before. I've actually heard women say out of their own mouth things about friends of mine. I've heard a woman ask a friend of mine if he could fight. Now, I don't know about y'all. Everybody's different, but usually women, the last thing you want for your man to do, whether he can fight or not, is get in a fight, because in this day and age, we understand how dangerous it is. Okay. But y'all don't be wanting no soft dude when he's going upside your damn head. You know what I'm saying? Or y'all don't want, I said that wrong. Y'all don't want a dude. Y'all want a dude to be hard until he goes upside your head. That's what I wanted to say. You see what I'm saying? Now you want the soft guy because you experienced that. We're not the fucking villain, man. Take some accountability. I know what men need to take and work on, and I know a lot of things that black men need to get better at. But that's not the conversation. This conversation is geared towards a specific group of individuals that really paint us out to be the villain. And not all of them are women, but understand something. We are not the fucking villain. Okay? And as far as being too soft, I think that's another thing that is going to change or needs to change in our community. I'm pretty sure Bill Gates can't fight. I'm pretty sure I don't see a lot of I never known Warren Buffett to be just this hard ass in the streets. But you know what I do know? I know or close to their net worth, and I know the impact they've had on the world and on our country. So you might want to think about that. I think everybody should be able to protect themselves, but I don't think people should be ostracized because they're not hard enough or they're not gangster. I know this sounds real immature to even have to acknowledge some of this shit, but you'll be shocked at how many people still haven't grown up. Okay? Stupid. Yeah, we are. That's another one. We are not the damn villain. We are not stupid. I think what a lot of black men are misunderstood and misinformed and misguided. That's what a lot of us are. A lot of us black men come from single parent homes, and a lot of us black men have probably grown up in an environment where the women that were raising them, whether it was their mother or their grandmothers, had a lot of energy, maybe even in some cases hostility because of the father not being there, maybe because the father left, which is a lot of scenarios where the father's locked up because he made a bad decision that affected the whole family, and now mama or grandma or auntie or whoever it is that raised you is really going through it. And because of that, those young men didn't get the guidance. They didn't get the information that they needed. That is so damaging. Now, me personally, I lost my father when I was 14. Now, I have my older brothers. You know what I'm saying? But my older brothers weren't always here. My older brothers are a decade older than me and beyond. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't have that male figure always around me. So what I had to do, like I've always been doing my whole life, is I have to create an environment for me. I joined clubs in private school, and we formed a brotherhood. And in that brotherhood, I've known people that have went through way more things than I went through. But I've had fortunate experiences. Some of my friends, I looked up to their dads. Now, I didn't go to them for advice, but I did have some ideas of how a man should be at different points in my life. That's just me. That's just Dizzy. But there's so many young men around my age when I was a teenager that didn't have that. And there's so many young men now that don't have that guidance. So before you think that, black men are stupid, or they fuck boys or things like that, understand a lot of them don't have guidance. A lot of them need guidance. And judging by the ones that are judging and generalizing, they don't need the advice and the guidance from you. Because if that's what you think, geez, it's the level of toxic energy coming from you. That's the last thing that they need to hear or see. They don't need to hear your opinion. They don't need to hear your viewpoint. They don't need to hear any of that shit. They don't need to hear your truth. Because a lot of them are still trying to figure out who they are. Some of them trying to figure out how the fuck they got there or why they're in that position. Aggressive. We are not the villain. There's a lot of aggression. See, one of the things about black men being aggressive is the toxic masculinity. That's the new jacket that us black men wear. Toxic masculinity. Do you know how many black men, I would say in my generation, are finally getting to a point where they're trying to build? Some of them are doing it on their own, without any help. Emotional intelligence because of all of the PTSD that black men went through and are still going through. So, not to justify the bad behavior by some, but I think that most black men can agree it's a defense. It's not intended to offend or hurt anybody, but the aggression that you hear in black men is interesting because an icon, a legend just passed away. DMX, rest in peace, DMX. The man had so much aggression in his voice, but was it really aggression, or was it pain, or was it defense? But we accepted it. Tupac, he didn't hold any punches. He said what was on his mind and how he felt. Was that aggression? Or was it pain and passion? I ask these questions because it's so easy to put on or put this jacket on black men and don't even ask questions. You're making the statements, you're making the assumptions, and you're generalizing, but you fail to ask questions. Because I guarantee that if you ask a lot of black men questions, they're going to hit you with some shit. And man, the friends that I'm blessed to have. I really don't have friends. I have extended family. I try to remind them that all the time. So the extended family that I have, man, some of the stories I've heard is just like, you got to be fucking kidding me. How do you leave room to smile? Now, I would never say that to him because that's toxic. That's negative. But it's just like, it's incredible the kind of strength that some of these brothers have. So again, I'm not talking about the percentage of men that don't give a shit about anything. I'm talking about generalizing. I'm fucking tired of it. Stop. Ask questions. It ain't always about you. And you're not always the victim. We all contribute to things that happen to us in some ways. I didn't say we contribute to everything that happens to us. Let me say that because I don't need nobody twisting my shit. You feel me? But we contribute to a lot of things that happen to us. The really, really unfortunate shit that happens to us, of course, we don't contribute to that. So before you talk about who's aggressive and we're aggressive and we're this toxic masculinity, man, look in the fucking mirror. I know women that got toxic masculinity. I know a lot of women actually that have toxic masculinity, not just black women. Cheaters. I fucking hate the campaign of black men don't cheat. Okay? Because it's a fucking joke. When guys say black men don't cheat, a lot of people laugh. Just like everything else. Because now we have this jacket put on our culture. You know, we have this jacket put on the men in our community, in our culture, that we cheat. So when you hear a black man or a group of black men who really don't cheat say black men don't cheat, everybody's going to laugh. Yeah, just like you guys don't steal and jump high and dunk the basketball and run for 9,000 yards in a season. Sure, Deshaun. Yeah, that's the fucking way that everybody's looking and laughing at us because it's bullshit. I'm not saying it's bullshit that we don't cheat and stuff like that. I'm just saying some of the fucking campaigns are a joke to me. How about black men are good? We stop there. Let's just say that was a good campaign. We're more than just people that don't cheat. We're good people. We are. And just because you haven't found any, or just because you've picked the wrong ones, doesn't mean that I'm not telling the truth. We're good fucking people, man. My father was a good person. My brothers are good people. My nephews are good young men. My cousins are good men. My extended family that I share these shows with are good men. And the list can go on, but I'm not going to keep going. I've pretty much laid it out there for you. We're not all cheaters. And you know something else? Black men aren't the only motherfucking people that cheat. Every culture does it. In some countries, they get punished differently, but every culture does it. Oh, and look, here's the secret. Here's the secret, y'all. Women cheat too. Oh, shit. Oh. You in Big Baller Zone now, baby. You in Big Baller Zone. Yes. It's not one specific fucking group. Everybody does it. Why the fuck is it amplified when it's us? Matter of fact, the most of the things that I've said on this list, everybody's guilty of it. Not every single individual, but other cultures guilty. But when it's us, it's amplified. Stop it. We hate black women. Fuck out of here. I don't even want to take too much time on that. We don't. Stop it. We don't. Maybe you need to ask yourself if you hate black men. Because game recognized game. Right? We don't. Nah, we don't. And this time I am inserting myself into that and saying we, as far as in generalizing. No, we don't. You don't get to decide how we feel based off how you feel. We don't. Shut it up. On the down low, that is an interesting one. Now, if black men act away, they're on the down low. Y'all so quick to put these jackets on us because I hear y'all say it. I see it. I read it. I've even screenshot some of the shit. It's crazy to me. But then in the same breath, you respect the black men that are gay. They do your nails, they do your hair, and they even give you advice. So when you say that a black man that you had an encounter with, that you had an argument with, or you had a debate with, or he said something that you don't like and you say he's on the down low, or you think he's gay, are you attacking your gay friends? That's what it sounds like you're doing, because you're saying it as if it's a bad thing. You know what I mean? So you need to pick and choose what's good and what's bad in your life. But every person, every black man that doesn't agree with you or that you get into a heated debate with isn't gay. Are you? Game recognized game. We are not the villain. Lazy. Y'all niggas lazy too. Now that's an interesting one because us black men, we get labeled lazy. We don't do shit. We don't take care of our kids, and that all falls under lazy too. And the crazy thing is I know a lot of amazing black fathers, husbands, and most importantly, hard working black men. And I know hard working black men that check all of those boxes. Good and kind to people, take care of their children, and bust their ass working. There's a lot of people that can't do all of them. There's a lot of people, believe it or not, shockingly, there's a lot of people that can't walk and chew gum. But stop it. We grind. We being on the grind, hustling, those type of words that involve hard work. We invented that shit. I'm grinding, I'm hustling. I got to make these moves. That's us. We added the flavor into those words and those meanings to where everybody says it. Even people outside of our culture. So we're not wrong. Game recognized game though. Are you? We're not the villain. So basically, we've started everything bad in society. We are not the villain. But to keep this rant, these statements that I've made, which could turn into a series if I broke down all 10. I'm always about solution. The reason why I keep saying we are not the villain, we are not the villain, sisters. We are not the enemy. And you aren't the enemy either. I think what we need to do is we need to learn how to talk to each other. We need to learn to have more conversations about these things with each other. That's one of the things I really love about Clubhouse, is because you have all these different perspectives, all these different minds, and all these different experiences. The only thing that I think needs work, and I'm not talking about the app now, I'm just talking about the conversation, is we gotta learn to talk to each other with respect. We have to learn to always give each other the benefit of the doubt. We have a lot of work to do in our culture. Support Black businesses. Well, we got to learn how to support each other as far as respect, how to talk to each other. We have to learn to address problems and not let them fester. Now, that may be hard for a lot of us, okay? But it's something that's needed. And everybody's not going to be on board, and everybody's not going to know how to do it, and everybody's not going to do it right. But we need to start somewhere. We need to have real conversations. We need to have real situations where there might be heated moments, where there might be emotional moments. But when we get done, we know we're going in a better place. We know we're going forward with the right intentions. When I was in the club, I was in this amazing club when I was in high school, and we referred to each other as the brothers. That's how we talked to each other. That wasn't the name of the club. And when we had issues that we need to lay out on the table, we would call a real men wear black meeting, and that's what we did, because our colors were black and gold, and we'd wear black, most of us or some of us, and we would go in the room and we had that conversation. We had them hard conversations. Something went around school one day about one of us, or we was getting into it, because we had an image that we had to uphold. We had to be unified. And the only way we be unified out there is being unified in here. And that means addressing problems. So maybe we need to have more real men wear black meetings, and real women wear black or whatever color you want to wear meetings. And we really need to get shit out. And you know what? Even at the end of that conversation, or the end of those hard experiences, even if you don't want to fuck with each other like that, right? You know what? I'm still not happy. I'm still not satisfied. I'm glad I got my piece out, and he got his piece out, or she got her piece out, and I got my piece, whatever the case is. And you decide, you know what? I just think we better off going the other way. We should still have each other's back, and we should still have respect for each other. Because a lot of these other cultures, they do that shit. Where do you think they get these ideas for movies from? You see other cultures, they don't fuck with each other like that, but there's still a respect business-wise, or just how they conduct themselves in public. We gotta work on that shit. Now, don't get me wrong. I know that the media is against us, and they love amplifying every fucking thing that we do and every fucking thing we say. But that's our responsibility to do something about it. Not everybody can be rappers. Not everybody can be LeBron James. Not everybody can be J. Cole, Jay-Z, Cardi B, or Meg Thee Stallion. Somebody has to be the network owner. Somebody has to start their own TV network. Somebody has to start shit that we can't control. Somebody has to be that person. We can't all go through the same door. But man, if we all chose to walk through a different door and to own it, man, it would be beautiful on the other side. But it starts within. It starts having these conversations and having the respect for each other. So before we learn pronouns, before we learn other people's history and other people's plight, we need to focus on damage control in our own community and our own culture. That's what we need to do. I'm solution based. So I wasn't going to leave this part. I was going to leave this rant without giving some kind of solutions. Understand that a lot of the things that I named can also be stereotypes depending on, who you talking to or where you live. I listen to all kinds of things being generalized on the internet. On Clubhouse, I heard people saying that Cali black men act this way and act that. And I had to chime in. And I'm going to be honest, I was pretty much the oldest person in the room. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, that's not true. It depends on where you're at. And I could tell that one of the people were young because I started naming. I said, if you live in this area, those areas, they don't even matter like that. They don't even go out, or they don't even do nothing in them areas. And I'm just like, okay. I bowed out gracefully because I'm not going to go back and forth with you. But generalizing, man. Again, generalizing. We gotta come together without just saying come together. We gotta organize this shit. Another thing we gotta do is we gotta stop tearing each other down publicly, because we give them a show every time. Every time we shit on each other, we give them a show. When the black athletes go back and forth, oh, look at them. They look at them. See, I told you, look at them. This is my favorite part of the circus. When the two lions go at it over the jungle. Yep. Look at them. When we tear each other down, look, go to the real men wear black meeting and real women wear black meeting and get all that shit out. Get all that energy out and then come up with a solution. But this shit ain't the way. Subliminal shit too. 9 times out of 10, when you say some subliminal shit, your extended family or your friends know exactly who the fuck you talking to. Knock it the fuck off. They already amplify everything we do. They already do that shit. So you got to ask yourself, every move that you make on the chessboard, was it a wise move? Maybe we need to go and we need to do some evaluating. We need to think about, okay, does the things I say not only put a jacket on me and a label on me, but does it affect the community, my culture, and my people too, my family? Like, we got to go. We're in this society where we're sensitive about everything that's fucking said, but then we don't give a fuck about what people think. Boy, if that ain't fucking confusing. But I think we should give a fuck about what people think. It's just what people, our family, our friends, our extended family, but our people. We are not the villain, and neither are you. Anyways, I want you guys to let me know what you think. Leave information out there. Really let me know what you think about this conversation. Should we dive deeper into this? Some of the things that I listed, or should we just dive deeper into the solutions? Which I'm really about that. But I really think that that's something that was really heavy on my heart. And I'm going to be real, I didn't go all the way in depth like I wanted to, but I think I said enough. We are not the villain, all right? And you aren't either. So think about it. Let it marinate. And thank you for listening. I'm your boy, Dizzy D Spill. You have been tuning into the Notion and sharing a little bit of my thoughts, Dizzy D Spill. and what's been going on in my mind and what goes through my mind from time to time. Thank you very much. Tune in to the next episode. Peace.